Hello. At this point, all the videos for our Alaska trip should be up. They should be all finished. We just finished the trip. Yay, so amazing. I also kind of wanted to do a little like overview kind of thing, a little recap of the whole trip. I've been wanting to do something like this for other trips as well, but I just never have really gotten a chance or getting around to doing it. I'm not gonna wear this the whole time. Okay, that's better. So this is meant to be a more detailed recap than what the vlogs show. So I'm gonna go over specific excursions that we did, our thoughts on the cruise overall, the food choices, all the activities. I'll try to be as concise as possible, but I have a lot to say, So the cruise takes out of Vancouver. We ended up flying into Seattle because my family lives out there, so it was easier for us to just drive across the border rather than take a train or fly into Vancouver, and it was also way cheaper to fly into Seattle. So before we drove up to Vancouver, we had one day in Seattle. We basically just did a couple touristy things. We went to Pike Place Market, we went and looked at the Space Needle, stuff like that. Then in Vancouver we had a few more days, so we did a few more things there. Being in Canada was fun because the way the exchange rate is right now, we basically got a 25% discount just for being American everywhere we went, so that was pretty nice for us. Probably my favorite thing that we did was we went to the Granville Market, which is kind of like Pike Place Market in Seattle. It had a bunch of like food places and like little snacks and shops and things like that. It was really cool. I was really glad that we went there. We also went to Stanley Park. It's like an urban park, I guess is what they called it, because you can see the city skyline while you're like hiking. It was really, really crazy and really fun. We also went on a suspension bridge that was really cool, and we had a lot of really, really good food. On our last night, we went on a dinner cruise, which was super fun. It was like a pre-cruise cruise, so it was pretty fun. My family actually surprised me with that, so that was really cool. In Vancouver, we stayed in an Airbnb. They do not have Uber or Lyft in Vancouver, so if we didn't have a car, we would have had to stay closer to the cruise terminal. I think they are getting Uber and Lyft soon-ish, so in the future, we probably would just stay closer to the like main center of the city. Finally, it was time for us to get on the cruise, so we were so excited. This one took place on the Disney Wonder. We had previously been on this ship last year. Out of Galveston, we went to Mexico, so we were familiar with the layout and stuff. For everybody else on the trip except for me and Chris, it was their first time on the Wonder or their first time on a cruise ever. On the Wonder, you have a bunch of different dining options. Our three main dining rotations were Animator's Palette, Tiana's Place, and Triton's, and our favorite by far was Tiana's Place. The other two are great too, but Tiana's was just amazing. We loved it so much. We love Tiana. She's one of my favorites. The food was so good. We actually requested a dining rotation where we got to eat there 3 times, and we got it, so that was really exciting. The way that it works, if you've never been on a Disney cruise, there's a rotation. So on your Key to the World card, you can see down there that it says AP is Animator's Palette, TP is Tiana's Place, and then TR is Triton's. Our servers followed us every night so we could keep with them and they could get to know us. I absolutely loved our serving team. Our lead server was Manish and our assistant server was Patrick. They were incredible. I absolutely loved them. They got to know us. They knew our names. They knew our drink orders. We loved them so much. I cannot say enough good things about them. They also have the specialty dining for adults that is Palo. We had brunch and dinner on this cruise. We had been to dinner before at Palo but never brunch, so that was really exciting. It's a little bit more exclusive and you do have to pay for it, so it's 40 bucks a person, but I thought it was totally worth it for both meals. I actually think I enjoyed brunch more. Chris disagrees. He said he likes dinner more. Brunch is like a buffet, but you can also order off a menu, and then dinner is a la carte. Dinner has my all-time favorite thing I have on the cruise though, which is the souffle. Oh my god, it's so good. I also want to talk a little bit about our room location. This time we were on deck 2, which is towards the bottom of the ship. We were in rooms 2107 and 2109, which are connecting rooms. They were inside as well. We went on inside just to save a little bit of money. The location was actually great. Technically they're aft rooms, so it's meant to be like the back of the ship, but they were like the closest you could get to the middle. So they were right next to the elevators, very close to the laundry. No complaints about that one. The thing I liked about staying on deck 2 is that it was only rooms on that floor, so it wasn't like the other higher decks where there's also like kids clubs or like the movie theater or anything, so you're not gonna have anybody like just running by your room, so it was a little bit less traffic and I really liked that. Also on this cruise we did the rainforest room, which is the little spa area. We got the week-long pass, which cost us about $130 each. The ones on the bigger ships are much better with like hot tubs and stuff, but it was still really relaxing and I was glad that we did it. Also on this cruise for the first time we did a mixology class, which was super fun, and I definitely will do it again. It's $25 and they basically taught us how to make mixed drinks. It was really fun. We got to try I think 5 or 6 things. We also absolutely loved the adult activities on this ship. It was so much fun. Every single night we were in the adult lounge, either playing or just watching everybody else. It was so much fun. The adult host who did those games was hilarious and we loved her, and she embarrassed my family on multiple occasions, so that was always fun. So anyway, that's kind of like the general things about the ship. Now I want to talk about the excursions we went on. We did an excursion on all 3 of the ports. So we stopped in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan in Alaska. We booked through Disney for 2 of them and then outside of Disney for the last one just because it was a little bit cheaper. So after our day at sea, we had a day where we were at the glaciers. It was kind of like a sea day, but you went up into the glacier as well. The first like stop where we got off of the ship was Skagway. The one we did was called Yukon Expedition. We took a bus up to Yukon Territory, so that was cool. We got to go into another part of Canada, and we got a very cool passport stamp. We took the bus up with a few photo stops. We loved this. It was so much fun. We saw a bear. We stopped a few times to take some photos. It literally was so pretty. It looked like it was a desktop background. Like, it was unbelievable. It was like photoshopped in real life. And then once we got there, we stopped at this little like touristy area. They had like lunch for us, and they had a museum, and the best part that I loved was you got to see the sled dogs, so that was so cool. We got to go see them. They also had a petting zoo and a couple of puppies that you could hold, which was obviously a highlight. It was so much fun. And then on the way back down, we got to take the train, which was so much fun. It was incredible. We got to take the train all the way down, so it was about a 2 or 3 hour ride back, which was way longer than I expected, but I loved it. The views were amazing. We got this really cool little all aboard magazine, so it has information about like the history of the trail as well as like the gold rush and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. I thought it was really cool, like nice little souvenir. And it also has a fold out map so you could follow along on the trail as we were going. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite things we did on the trip was this train. It was so cool. The Yukon Expedition cost, I want to say like $220 per person, $220, but I felt like it was worth it. We had an amazing day. It was about an 8-hour excursion, so that was our longest one by far. We loved every second of it, and they fed us. So that's a common theme you'll find on the excursions that we booked, is that they give us food. The next day was at Juneau. So this was the day that we booked outside of Disney. It wasn't a problem or anything, but I think I would prefer to do them all through Disney next time. It was called the Mendenhall Glacier plus Salmon Bake, I'm pretty sure. So for this one, we took a bus up to the Mendenhall Glacier, which is one of the biggest glaciers in North America. There was a little visitor center up there. We were there for like an hour or so. You kind of just get to walk around and check it out. There was a lot of really cool stuff to see. The glacier was awesome. Then after we were done with that, we went to a little salmon bake nearby. So they had a little buffet for us. It was unlimited. We could get as much as we wanted. The food was great. I loved it. This excursion was only 4 hours, so we spent a little bit less time on this one. This excursion cost, I believe it was $114. It's a fair price, but I feel like it was definitely not the same level of excursion that we went on in Skagway. Like, we just loved the one in Skagway, and this one was just like, okay, that's cool, like it's fine, but it's okay, we still liked it. Our third and final port was Ketchikan. This one we also booked an excursion through Disney, and this one was a tour of the Misty Fjords National Monument, which was so cool. This one was similar in time length to the Juneau one. It was about 4 or 5 hours, and we took a smaller boat from the ship over to the Misty Fjords National Monument, and we got to go into the fjords. They gave us food. We had amazing views. It was so cool. We got this little booklet, another little souvenir. I like small souvenirs like this, like little things I can put in a scrapbook, because then it's not something big that I have to bring home. Like this is a piece of paper. It's nothing. It also unfolds into a map, so you could follow our route as we went up into the Misty Fjords. So that was really cool, and I definitely love that excursion, and I would recommend it. This one was also in the same price range as the Skagway one. I believe it was about $200 per person, but I do feel like it was worth it. My only complaint about that one is I wish that there was an adults only version, because there were a lot of little kids on our tour and they were very annoying. It's not their fault, because like this was not really an excursion that I feel like was suited for little kids. It's just kind of sitting on a boat for a while and looking at stuff, and if the kid's not like occupied, they're gonna get bored and start screaming. But it was fine. It didn't take away from my enjoyment, and it was still really cool. So those were our excursions that we took. Next, I want to talk a little bit about like tips that we have, things that we learned, things that I was glad we knew going into it, just a couple things like that. First thing that I was so happy to know about was the Disney Cruise Line app. We used this constantly on the trip. It was literally how we did everything. Every night we would sit there and plan out our day for the next day and look at all the activities we wanted to do. There were so many cool things on this trip. We literally were jam-packed every single day. We were always doing something. There's tons of trivia. We had so much fun in trivia. We won a bunch of those. We also did the adult activities every day, like I said. My favorite one that we did was this thing called Wonder Quest. We had previously done on the Disney Dream last year. We did the one called Dream Quest. It's basically like a scavenger hunt where you're in teams. It was super fun, and we won that one. For that one, we won a couple goodies. Like we got this really cool reusable bag that was was really nice. We had a great time with those activities. We also went to a napkin folding and a towel folding class. That was really fun. We went to a class called Anyone Can Cook, where they make you a little like dish of some kind and they serve it to you and show you how the chef makes it on board. So that was really awesome. And for almost all of these, it was the adults only version. They had, like I said, a lot of adult only activities, so we never felt like we were overrun with kids at these things. And for any of these, even if we weren't participating, like even if we weren't playing the game or doing the trivia, it was still fun to go and just like listen to everybody else do it. It was just a really fun atmosphere. So that my number one tip was using the app. It was so easy to plan because of the app. My only complaint was the messaging was a little bit slow. We had thought there was going to be iMessage available before we went on the ship, but we never got it to work, so we pretty much relied on the app to communicate with each other. The next thing that I was really glad that I did was I brought winter gear. I was really unsure about how cold it was going to be. I was so glad that I brought like a hat, a scarf, gloves, everything like that. I also brought 2 puffball hats, and I bought one on board as well, and I brought a pair of gloves and a scarf, and I was so happy to have all of them. Something else I was really happy to have was my Uniqlo down vest, which I wore so much when I didn't want to wear like a big coat, but I wanted to have like an extra layer. That was super handy and I loved it. I brought my giant pink coat on board, which if you watched any of my videos before, or if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I was kind of debating whether I was going to bring that, but I'm so glad that I did, especially on Glacier Day. That was like the key, because we spent a lot of time up on the deck and it was really windy and cold, so I was very glad to have it. Speaking of Glacier Day, a couple tips specifically about the Glacier Day. We chose to have our brunch, our Palo brunch, on the day that we went by the glacier, and I thought that was a great choice. It was amazing scenery outside. Normally they only do it on sea days, so technically this was a sea day like I said, but we were able to do it with the amazing views of the glacier outside, so that was really cool. On the day we go by the glacier is the only time that the characters are going to be in their Alaska outfits up on the top deck, and it was really important to me to meet those characters. A tip that I got from my friend who went on the cruise a couple months ago: go line up for the first one really early and then immediately go to the next location, so you're kind of just like bouncing around between them and you never have to wait too long. You never waited more than like 15 minutes or so that was really nice. Also, this isn't really a tip, but like I feel like I should talk about it. Being able to order whatever you want is a game changer. Every single day we had somebody at my table who ordered at least one extra entree or appetizer or dessert. We usually got to try everything on the menu. It was awesome. We also ordered room service on the last night, which was really fun. Room service is also free, but you have to like tip the person, which is no big deal. Those were a couple things that I was glad that I knew about. A few things that I wish I would have done differently, or that I would do differently if I did this cruise again. Next time, I think I would want to book a room with a window. So like I said before, we booked an inside room this time just to save a little bit of money. I really do think I would rather have spent a little more money and gotten at least one window room for our group. It was harder to wake up in the morning because we didn't have a window. There was no like source of outside light. I definitely am the type of person that wakes up with the sun, so it would have been nice to have something to help us wake up a little bit in the morning. Also, it would have been nice to just see like the outside scenery a little bit. Like whenever we wanted to look outside or see what it looked like, we would have to go upstairs. It was my first time having an inside room. I think in the future I definitely would prefer to have a window. Another mistake that I made on this was overpacking. I brought so much stuff. For the most part, it was okay. There were only a few things that I didn't ever wear, but I definitely overestimated the amount of things that I would need. We had a really hard time kind of cramming it shut on the last day to get everything in there. In the future, I probably would be able to narrow it down to just one suitcase, even with my giant pink coat, which I do not regret bringing, by the way. I kind of briefly mentioned this before, but I think in the future we would not book any excursions outside of Disney. We did save a lot of money doing it, but I think that the quality of the Disney ones was significantly better. So the organization of just meeting on board and knowing exactly where to go and getting our tickets and stuff. If you are late coming back from your excursion and it's not a Disney one, they have no hesitation leaving you behind. Not that I was scared we were ever gonna get left, but just in case in the future there's like any delays or anything like that, it would be nice to have in the back of my head, okay, they're not gonna leave me here in Ketchikan. I also think in the future we would probably spend less time in Vancouver. It was great and I'm glad we did a lot of stuff in Vancouver, but in the future I think we would limit it to just 1 or 2 days. And then finally, my last thing is that I wish I would have gone shopping a little bit more. Normally I'm not the type of person that just like buys stuff, so I didn't think I would have to spend that much time in the gift shops, but I kind of wish that we had gotten 1 or 2 more things from this cruise specifically. There were a couple things that I saw and was like, oh, I'll go back and get that, or I'll come back and get this on a different day, and I never ended up doing it. So I was a little sad about that. That just means we're gonna have to go on another cruise, so. Okay, this is almost done. I know it's getting really long, but it's almost done. So just to give you a small little haul of what I bought in Alaska, it really was not that much. I got this super cute puffball hat with the Disney Cruise Line logo on it. I knew I was gonna buy this going into it. Like, this is just so cute. I also bought a pin. I'm not a huge pin collector, but I do like to buy them every now and then just to commemorate special things. So I got this one. So this one just says Alaska and it opens up to have Mickey and Minnie inside. I also bought, this is something I bought before the trip technically. My friend who went on the cruise a couple months ago brought this back for me because I was afraid they would sell out, but of course they weren't sold out. There were plenty of these, but whatever. I have this Alaska like fleece blanket. And it has the same design like Mickey and Minnie on it, and it's super cute. I love these Disney fleece blankets. They're so soft and cozy, and Teddy loves them too, so it's a great dog bed blanket. I love it. I also got the Disney Cruise Line reusable bag. just looks like that. Some non-Disney things that we got. I also bought this little collar slide for Teddy. While I was editing this video, I also remembered that I bought this water bottle at Granville Market, so here's some footage of me with that. And then finally, we also got in Ketchikan at one of the big gift shops, we got these super cute Alaska coasters. I love coasters as souvenirs as well because we have a ton of them from different places, and they are something you can never really have too much of, so I got these two and I thought they were really cute. That's it. That's all I bought. Doesn't that seem crazy? Of course, I also have all my fish extender stuff. This is a good time to talk about fish extenders. Let me get into that. This was my first time doing a fish extender exchange. It was a little overwhelming, but it was really fun. The little things on the outside of the door, the number where your door is, it has a little fish, and you can like hang a little pouch on there, and you can get presents from people, and you can exchange gifts, and it was so much fun. This was all coordinated through the Facebook group, and this was like the best Facebook group ever. It was so much fun, and the guy in charge of it was just so dedicated to making sure everybody had a good time and was included on stuff. He also designed these amazing shirts, and I'm wearing mine right now. It's just like such a cute design. My whole family got them. But the really fun thing that we did was the gift exchanges. So we just signed up to be in a group with like 10 other cabins. In addition to the regular fish extender gift exchange, we also did like a magnet one, a recipe one, and a candy one. What we gave for our fish extender people was we had these reusable Starbucks cups, and my mom personalized them with like a little Alaska, a Mickey head, and that says Alaska on the side. On the inside there was a little hot chocolate goodies because there was like a hot chocolate station up on one of the decks. From the magnet exchange, I got a bunch of really cool stuff. Little tiny like Alaska cruise magnets. We also got a really cool Australia bottle opener magnet, which we actually used on the ship to open up a bottle of sparkling cider, so that was cool. And then we also got this really cool like woodcut one that's a little Alaska magnet. And then we also did the candy exchange. This is so much, I know, I'm sorry. This is like an excessive amount of talking about exchanges. I absolutely loved this one. This is my favorite one because we were in a group with these girls from Japan. It seemed like every day they brought us stuff, and they gave us so many cool goodies, and I saved one of them to show you. This little goodie bag that just has like a bunch of Japanese candy, and there's a super cute note in there that literally says, "We're from Japan, nice to meet you. We cannot speak English, but I'll do my best." It's so cute. It's so cute. Finally, we had the recipe exchange. Some people like, you know, wrote theirs out on little cards like this. Some people just printed them out. This one is like a Filipino dish, and it has a little history of the dish on the back. Like, it was really, really cool, and people put a lot of thought and effort into it, and I thought it was awesome. I don't know in the future if I would do a full fish extender gift exchange again. It was a little bit overwhelming, and it was a lot of extra stuff to bring, but I don't regret doing it at all. It was super fun. But yeah, so that's it. Just I guess to wrap up, it feels crazy to say that I've been to Alaska, and if you're thinking about going on an Alaskan cruise, absolutely do it. It was so much fun. Everybody in my group had a great time, and we come up from a lot of different places with lots of different interests, and everybody was able to find something that they love. This was like something so different and very special. So I loved it. I had a great time. I would recommend it to anybody. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It was amazing. This video has been super long, but I hope that you enjoyed it. If you're planning a trip to Alaska, I hope you got some good tips out of it. If you've been on an Alaska cruise, tell me what you thought, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.